It's it ideally would be a cloth that that can be that has special spots that can be inflated, because if we look at retrospectively, what motivated us to do this little tutorial was to make a piece of a life saver type of device, and also that adheres to Islamic ethics and non-bid'ah, no, that doesn't innovate in Islam at the same time. So you see this white Velcro placers around the rings here and here, right? Okay, this is when I've made a hole there, but the hole is really just a kind of a cross. It can be I don't think it can be any other shape, but it can. But ideally it would be like a X shape or a cross shape. You could say that twice over there too. Let me show you. Here you have the same pattern going on. Why is this for? Okay, when a person is going to be fitted into this piece of cloth, before making the holes, we have to make sure where the shoulder area is, because many people have larger torsos, larger legs, or yeah, they have different proportions. So we need to make sure that after we measure that, we measure the person's height and proportions, that we know where to place the shoulders, and so that way we don't get an excessively long burqa or piece of Islamic clothing, and so there's also other pieces of Velcro here and here, and that means, well, those are just ideas as how to place the pieces of Velcro, but for the arms, and this should be pieces of Velcro for the head here and here, because ideally that will be the ideal place to tie the head with, to tie the head like a bandana. So I'm going to close these holes here. You can, by self-explanation, self-evidently, see how the holes are not like for sinking the flotation device if applying this as a lifesaver. The holes are just, also they can be used as a a type of mechanism where the person who is on the boat or lifesaver device can stick his legs or his or arms, depending on what the depth of the water is, to swim to safety, or push, just leaving the holes closed wouldn't let the water in, basically because the idea is that these holes could be closed when on demand, and that the flotation device wouldn't, so the person on the flotation device wouldn't exceed the recommended weight that the device supports. An engineer or a person savvy with buoyancy and factors such as ratios between water viscosity and real world factors such as weight, velocity, and pressure on the surface of the water, would have the more experience, more expertise with such a contingency. So where we're going to go now is looking at The device you can't see in the video, but there's also velcros for the edges. For example, here, but over here, right beside or below to the side of the where I'm placing my hand. Those velcros will go one on the inside, one on the outside. And for the arms also, we have those that are like this, one on the outside and one on the inside. In this design, you can see that I cut it in ways that shouldn't be cut. The design shouldn't be cut in this way, like this. See, we have a seam here, but the cutting shouldn't be like I have done, because it would not need a perfect an ideal distribution of the cloth on the person when it's conformed to that person. And for the head, we have this hole here I made. Or if it's not a burqa, it's for a male Muslim that what he wants to reveal his face. He needs his face revealed, ideally, not to look like a ninja or a terrorist. We would have the hole, just not there at all. Or it could be a cap. This could be also a cap without the hole for the backside, so that the person, if it's raining, wouldn't get his head wet. And so now we're going to proceed to explain it also what we need to make this device fastened on the person. We need additionally, I had mentioned before, for guiding, we need also this a string. I'm going to take it out for you. It's here. I don't know if you can see it, I just took it out. But for that we needed to make holes like this. See these holes? There's one here, one here. These are just for illustration purposes. And another here. But of course there's more holes, not just these. Right? So those holes would be needed to place the string, insert it like a snake would go through, zigzag, when one hole in the inner and one hole in the outer, sides of the sheet. And then after you have to, this string would have to be the length, or at least the length, or at least to 1/2 of the length of the width of the sheet of the piece of fabric. That way we don't strangle the person, or the person has enough piece of string to easily put the suit on when he or she needs it. In other aspects that we need to consider is that this suit is just for humans. It's just it's not considered useful for animals. And if it were useful for animals, well, it would have to have a little bit of symmetry and not that much more thought to it. But it's not necessary right now. We need to we can't probably say many lives that have been lost or have been terribly psychologically harmed by the recent monsoon in Pakistan. But in the future we might be more prepared. We have some devices like this available for the Muslims. And in the Quran it says, if a person saves a life, it will be written for him as if he had saved the whole world. So we should be egotistic and try to just preserve this. But what I'm saying, getting at, is that it needs to be accredited to having been, you know, developed by Muslims for Muslims, because in any situation when a person is under despair and in a life-threatening situation, either Muslim or non-Muslim, as I said earlier, or for example, atheists or theists, the person always invokes the name of Allah, and or invokes the name of Allah in the language that the person knows, Allah. And so, if life can be saved, it will be, you know, or at least made to be in comfort, not in potential danger. We could save a life and many lives, Inshallah. Okay, this has been a great and experience for me to show you this method of making potential flotation device. Actually, just a design for a easily made burqa, easily to fit burqa for women.